Hey everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of TechPods by Mac Solutions. This episode is in collaboration with HMS Networks, and today we have Yuan Lee from HMS Networks. Yuan is responsible for the HMS IXXAT brand. So glad to have you here, Yuan.
Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. And just for our reference, Yuan, so Mac Tech Pods is essentially a series where we try to understand the industry challenges, the solutions which are out there, and try and understand more about the solutions from the subject experts such as yourself. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Nice. Thank you.
Yuan, first thing first, what is Exact as a brand, and what are the challenges it caters to really in the industry?
Yeah, the IXXAT brand is started back in the 80s in Germany when the CAN bus protocols become popular in the industry, especially for automotive or mobilities. And the company is started founded in late 80s and to addressing the needs and the demands for this type of protocols. And we are trying to helping the industry to be more easier to adopt and utilizing these type of protocols for the applications and to help the industry to move on faster.
I know that Exact has such a vast history behind it, and of course, there are different products within the Exact brand. Would you like to tell us more about the different parts which are there within the HMS Exact range?
Yeah, I would say in a nutshell, the IXXAT product over the years development, we develop portfolios and we can categorize it into three type of different focus. The first one is the PC interface, which is the CAN bus connectivity solutions related to PC applications or computer applications. And the second one is mainly focused on the CAN bus infrastructures. The CAN bus as networks, you need to have some topology components to help to improve the entire infrastructure, how it operates. And the third one is the another type of technology we are developing over the years is the functional safety to address the machinery interconnections for functional safety protocols. And that is our portfolio from the IXXAT brand.
One, we just spoke about the different, product range which is there within the Exact brand. You just mentioned PC interface, for instance.
Yeah.
Can you talk more about the benefits and the challenges which it solves within this product?
Yeah, so when we look at the PC interface offering that we have, we are mainly focused on the CAN bus interface and also industrial Ethernet interface, because these are the protocol which is utilizing in the machinery communication, but also machine-to-machine communications. And nowadays, more and more PC solution is popping up, and there are lack of connectivities for this type of specific industrial field bus protocols. And our solution is helping them to solve these communication challenges on the PC interface to give them the easiest way to access this type of data bus when they want to create applications, when they want to utilize this communication layer for their machineries. And this is the benefit that we bring to the customers is that shorten their time to market because they have their own focus on their machine development, and we can help them to solve the communication issues by using our PC interface solutions.
It's interesting where we can actually zoom in into these different, parts like PC interface. Similarly, we have the CAN infrastructure. So if you would like to show or probably shed some more light on the CAN infrastructure for us.
Yeah, so CAN bus is a communication protocol, so it has its limitations. Of course, it has its advantage on the communication side. But when we look at the infrastructure for CAN bus, there is some limitation you need to resolve by putting up some topology component. For example, to expand the length, to put some isolations on different CAN bus interface, to do network segmentations, to improve the signals, etc. And these are how we're using our CAN infrastructure portfolio to helping our customer to resolve the issues on the CAN bus communications.
Last but not the least, we also have functional safety within the HMS Exact range. Uh, if you would like to talk more about the functional safety bit of it.
Yeah, so when we look at the functional safeties offering that we have our own in-house functional safety stack. So functional safety protocols are mainly using in the safety type of functionalities or systems. And when we look at different type of PLC controllers, from different brands. They have different functional safety protocol underneath. So for example, on Profinet, you have ProfiSafe. For Ethernet IP, you have SIP safeties. For IXXAT, you have FSOE. And what we offer, we have our own in-house stake for these different type of protocols. And we also build out a module which can be installed directly into the machinery to resolve the connectivities, interface, and protocol state issues if the machine builders want to enable functional safety communication to the controllers, to the PLCs. And our product is also certified by the TÜV certifications on the safety, is sales recertified. So which means when the customer want to pass some certification on the safety standards, it will be more easier for them to prepare all the documentation and go through the process. And we can also share with them some knowledge on doing that type of things and to shorten their time to market. So which means they can be more easier to bring the next generation product, and is the enabling by our devices and our solutions on the functional safety type of topics.
So, Yuan, in this segment, it's an interesting bit, to be honest, where we would try to understand the use case, here. So we can start with, let's say, PC interface. So what are the use cases which are there for PC interfaces?
Yeah, so PC interface, as its name is, working together with the computers to enable the connectivities for computers, for CAN bus or for different type of industrial Ethernet infrastructures. And the use case that we kind of oftenly getting is for the maintenance for the vehicles. That's one type. Another type is the controlling system, for example, for the medical machineries, because CAN bus is not actually only using in the automotive, in the vehicles, but also using in the machinery because it's a very stable protocols. And these are two typical type of use case that we are getting. One is on the diagnostic side, and another one is on the maintenance side for the machineries. It's for like medical machineries. And they're using our PC interface to enable the connectivity for them to diagnose or to control the systems.
But of course, I mean, there would be some reservations also, I'm assuming you must have seen in the industry in terms of adoption. So when it comes to PC interface, what are the reservations which are there from the customer's point of view?
Yeah. So for example, when we look at this type of machine builders for medical devices or medical equipment, the biggest concern that they always has is the product longevities and the product qualities, because our product is going to be embedded into their product. And in some of the vertical market, the product life cycle is actually quite long. So they don't want to change the component often. And also from time to time, the operating system, the Windows system, the Linux system will also need to be updated. So they want to make sure that on the hardware side, we have the best qualities. So from HMS, we have a 200 ppm qualities guarantees. And we also support a very longer longevities on the product lifecycle maintenance on the hardware side, but also on the software side. When you look up the drivers that we are supporting for our PC interface card, is very comprehensive, and we can support the new generation of the operating systems to make sure that if there is upgrade from the customer PC, and we have the drivers suitable for them to upgrade it. So that is kind of always the concern from the customers, and we have a very good kind of way on doing business to resolving that, and also we have very good technology expertise to doing this type of business.
Can you talk more about the use cases for CAN infrastructure at the minute?
Yeah, so for the CAN infrastructures applications that we quite often see is that when the customer want to expand their CAN network or adjust their CAN bus communication networks. So which means if they want to install the CAN infrastructure inside buildings which have a larger space, and because of limitation about the communication distance, and they can utilize the CAN infrastructure devices to solving that issues. So it's more like you have Ethernet in your buildings and you have CAN bus in your building. You need switches, and for CAN bus you also need to have CAN topology component to resolve that, such as CAN bus bridges, CAN bus repeaters, or CAN bus to Ethernet gateways. And that is typically how we look at the CAN infrastructure business. It's mainly solving the topology issues for customers. On expanding the distance, we adjust the topologies, get some noise signal out, and that is typically the use case for the CAN infrastructure's portfolios.
And what would be the reservations then? Like how, like in terms of from a customer's perspective, what are the main objections which could be there, and how do you go about it?
Yeah, so I think on the K infrastructure, because it's more like a network topologies. So not most of the customer that we encounter, they have certain understanding about what is CAN bus topology, what we can do, what we cannot do. So we need to spend some time to let customer realize that this is the nature of CAN bus networks. So if you want to achieve this type of topology setup that you are planning, then you need to have certain type of component to helping you to make your CAN infrastructure to become more flexible. So which means there's always some conversation with the client about this is something that you want to achieve, and this is the topology proposal that we can provide to you utilizing our CAN bus infrastructure components. And that is mainly the use case and also the concerns that our customer have in this.
Right, so in this segment, we talk about the future trends here. How does the future look like for the IXXAT brand? So starting from PC interface, what do you think are the future developments which would be there?
Yeah, so when we look at the PC interface development, especially on the Canvas side, is that nowadays there's also the open source protocol or open source operating system is more and more popular in the industry. And before, when we look into like SocketCAN, which is open source drivers for CAN bus, we have our in-house drivers, which we have a very comprehensive setup architecture on the drivers in enabling a standardized API for customer to integrate. And now when we look at the trend in the open source areas, we are also now bringing our knowledge into these open source drivers and to leverage our knowledge and also to prove the open source drivers, and we also validate the open source drivers to work with our devices, we work with our hardware to make sure that even you use the open source drivers with our hardware, we can also have certain guarantee on the reliabilities, on the communication layers. And I think this will be a new type of areas that we are looking at because, as I mentioned, CAN bus is not only using in automotive, more and more machinery, sensoring, they are also using CAN bus because it's a very easy access protocols, and it's also very reliable. And we are kind of very open to work with more open source, different type of operating systems, and supporting more wider range on the computing platform with our PC interface solutions.
What are the future developments planned for the functional safety side of IXXAT range?
Yeah, so actually nowadays we found that the interest on the functional safety side is growing tremendously. It can driven by the awareness from the market about the safety topic, and we also now see some legislations is also getting updated to cover wider scope on the applications on the safety functionalities. So on the functional safety product line, we are now looking at some new applications where before the functional safety might not play an important role, and but now because of the awareness on the safeties, for example, on the mobile robotics. Before it's more like you have this in vehicles safety systems, which to make sure that this robot or mobile robot is not going to hit someone. However, there's more awareness coming out is that these type of mobile robotics might need to be supervised somewhere utilizing the safety protocols to have this supervision and management over the entire fleet of the mobile robot. And this will open up a new space for functional safeties offering that we have. And we are creating product to address this market to make sure that the machine builder, they don't need to do too much changes on the current design, but they will be able to integrate a new communication interface for the external functional safety control systems to interact with their current equipment. And they can shorten their time to market, and it can also help them to make sure that their solution is safe enough based on the current development in the safety regulations or legislations.
Oh, that sounds really promising, to be honest. I mean, something to really look forward to. Even M.A.C as the HMS distributor, it's something really helpful for us also to understand what the future trends like, because often we are asked about what is the roadmap for the product. So I think this would really answer that bit. But yeah, that's my question for you today, Yuan. And thank you so much for watching the TechPod series by Mac Solutions. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send it in. And we hope to get back to you on that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.